Hello and welcome to the Esteemed Gentlemen podcast. We appreciate you tuning in. I'm one of your hosts, Scott Labrie, and alongside me we have writer, director, old Uncle Teabag himself, Tyler Sunt.
Well, hello there. Uncle Teabag.
And then we have the man who has been Rick rolling before Al Gore even invented the internet, Eric Deshane.
What's up?
There you go, guys. How does it feel to be doing your first podcast ever?
It's a little strange, to be honest, but I'm excited.
I'm excited. Let's give it a shot. Let's go.
Got some butterflies in the stomach at all, or anything like that? Or
Of course.
Oddly enough, yeah, it's weird.
yeah. Well,
It's like your bros getting together to podcast. I thought I'd be like not so nervous, but
Yeah, whatever.
the thought that other people are gonna be listening to our bullshit is
well, that's the thing, right? We had a couple of friends who said, "You guys are so funny," which sounds so
Yeah,
which sounds
I
so stupid.
totally say that. Yeah.
But they're like, "You should start a podcast." It's like, well, I guess, but I don't know. People want to listen to that. I guess at least a couple people are interested. I guess so.
yeah. As long as we have two fans, we're golden.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right on. So today we're going to be talking about the year of 2020, probably the worst year since, I don't know, probably World War II or something.
Right.
But first,
Yeah.
let's talk about kind of what's been going on with you guys the last couple of weeks. Of course, we had Christmas and the New Year's. So, Tyler, let's start with you. How was your holiday there?
Well, the holiday was pretty good. It was actually kind of quiet. I was kind of dreading like the whole like not seeing anybody, seeing the family, but oddly enough, like just being home with Carly and Leia, and it was like really quiet. I got to play video games and not have to deal with the family bullshit. Not that it's always bullshit, but it's just kind of, it was weird, but it was also kind of nice to just, have time to yourself and the ones that are close to you. I thought that was really nice, but it was weird. I'm not going to lie. It was really fucking weird. And, my mom really wanted to stop by, and my nan always comes down every year for Christmas, and they just like quickly stopped in, dropped some presents off, hoped that nobody snitched on them, and then took off. So
Right.
so it was weird, but it was all right though. I don't know. We didn't really do much, but it was nice to have the quiet, I guess.
Yeah, I know with me, because there was that new kind of restriction, I guess, got put into place where they said that if you're single, you can visit somebody else's house just for one event or something like that. So I was kind of going to my parents' house, kind of skating the rule by saying those are my two close contacts. And then we were trying to figure out some plan where my dad was going to pick me up, so that way my truck wasn't in the driveway, so the neighbors couldn't snitch on us. But then they got that new restriction in there, which made everything all right. And yeah, Christmas, I mean, it was different not having my sister and her boyfriend come down. We did Zoom meetings with the Christmas presents, and did the gingerbread houses, all that other stuff, all over Zoom. So it was kind of interesting. But what about you, Eric? What'd you do for Christmas there?
Same thing. Usually, the family comes down for a large Christmas holiday, but of course, with the restrictions, no one came down. So it was just me and my parents all weekend, and me being alone as well. I would go there and just be the three of us, and that'd be it for both Christmas and New Year. So it was very different for the first time when we have a large family of over 15 with everybody included, and for once it was quiet and awkward, and it's never like that at home. So it was just really, really weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the same for everybody else too. It was different, and yeah, like it's not sure how else to say it, but this spent more time and then played lots of cards.
It was shit.
Lots
It
of
was
cards.
complete shit.
It
is
was
what
shit.
was.
Yeah. Absolutely shit. But no, it was all right though. It was a good visit, and spend time with family as much as we can, and just had a good time. Try to make the best of it.
Solid 6 out of 10, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would not recommend again.
No.
And hopefully it won't happen again next year. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Frick.
So yeah,
Just
I think
do what the government demands.
exactly. And,
Bend over, just take it.
and then, of course, we had New Year's Eve, which I didn't do anything. I ended up staying, I think, up till 2 a.m. playing Ghost of Tsushima, which
Nice.
is a really good game. If you guys haven't tried it, it's really fantastic. I got it on sale for like $50, and yeah, that's really great so far. But yeah, any other movies you guys seen, or any games you guys have been playing or anything like that?
I got Fallout 4. Carly hadn't played it before, so I re-downloaded it. And I remember like when I met you, Scott, for the first time, I was playing it, and that consumed 2.5 years of my life playing that game. And I feel like I'm sliding back into that vortex again, going full circle. But I made a character like for Carly, and she's like doing all the decisions and stuff. She doesn't really like play it, but she just does the whole like deciding what the dialogue is and which way the story's gonna go. And
Oh yeah.
fuck, man, like we're in deep now. Like it's like fuck, we gotta move on. Now we're watching Ozark. If you guys haven't seen Ozark, holy man, get on Ozark. I know I'm a little bit behind with that, but it's the best show. But
that came out a few years ago, right? That was been out for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, I think season 4 is coming out. I don't know if it's this year or next year. And it's supposed to be the final season, but holy man, you guys want to stress the fuck out watching a show? Watch Ozark. Holy man. And Carly and I are like thinking of ways how they're going to get out of this situation. We're like coming up with theories on what's going to happen, and then they just like go in a completely different direction. And it's not like it's just constantly like just throwing random stuff that's happening, like just to keep the plot moving. It's literally stuff that would probably happen in that situation. It's so good. It's a flawless TV show. It's amazing. But that's what we're on. So.
Yeah.
There you go. And Eric, you been playing anything, watching anything?
I just watched The Gentleman for the first time last night, and that really surprised me how good that was. I really enjoyed that. Great. And playing nothing so much right now. My nephews really want to get into Dungeons and Dragons, so I've been reading up on being a dungeon master. That's been taking up most of my time right now. Is just going through like the literal books of rules.
Yeah, there must be like a ton to learn.
Like yesterday, I sat down and I did not yesterday, the day before. I sat down and did literal homework, and wrote down notes and stuff for 5-6 hours. Like, oh my god, like. But I really enjoyed it. It's really a lot of fun. So
interesting. Yeah, that's like a scenario game where it's like a story kind of idea, right?
Yeah. Well, you're the dungeon master, right? You're the one in charge and trying to explain a full like narrative story, right? When it's all using your imagination with the dice and everything else, but just like. To know all the processes involved in telling the story and how to be descriptive and essentially writing a script out and telling the script, and it's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it a lot. So
yeah, cool,
Very cool. And I know me and Tyler. I don't know about you, Eric, but did you end up watching Soul at all?
No, I was on my list to watch. I know it just came out here a week or so ago, but
Christmas Day. I ended up watching it. I think on Boxing Day, but. That was a really, really good movie. Like, I highly recommend it. Not gonna lie, I cried at the end.
Oh my god, same. Rick, those guys at Pixar, holy fuck, man. Like, I'm like, how can kids like actually watch this? It's the most adult picture. Well, I mean, I can see the appeal to kids too because there's a lot of funny parts in it. But holy man, like when you're done watching the movie, you look at yourself, you're like disgusted, like reevaluating your whole life after you watch it. It was just amazing.
Yeah,
it's such a good show. It's so good.
I don't know. I shouldn't spoil it, but like the end part there after, I won't say anything. But that was at the end there. It's like wow. But
I do want to watch it, but it was on my list because I talked to my family about it. Like, oh yeah, it was okay, it was good. So I didn't think it'd be a great movie, but if you guys say it's better than that, then yeah, definitely gonna watch it. Oh yeah,
if you like Inside Out and stuff, you'll love it for sure.
Absolutely. Anybody watch Wonder Woman? That also came out.
No,
I did not watch it, but I heard it's some bad reviews on it.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing. I think my younger sister and older sister ended up watching it, and my younger sister loved the first one. I thought the first one was pretty good. Wasn't a huge fan of the ending.
Yeah.
But yeah, they both had negative reviews of the second movie. They said that. They didn't really focus on Wonder Woman. They said it was a lot of focus was on Pedro Pascal is what they said.
Oh, really? Right, and he's the villain, right, in the movie?
Yeah, I think so. I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I thought it was on HBO Go or the Crave and everything else. I bought a subscription that thinking it'd be on there, but it wasn't. I guess it's only on demand right now. And...
Yeah, you have to get it through your satellite provider, I think. That's how they do it or something.
Gotcha. So I thought it was going to HBO Pro and all the stuff with Warner Brothers. So I got that right away thinking to be on there, but it wasn't. So I'm hoping they bring it out there because that's where the Justice League Snyder is going on there, right? So I got that thinking ahead of time, but yeah.
Yeah. You're going to be watching the Snyder Cut there, Eric?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm
Did
looking
you
forward
like?
to that.
Did you like the original one, or?
I didn't mind the original one. Like, it's definitely you can see the forced choices for the studios to make on that one. So I know Snyder Cut's going to be a bit of a different change to it, but it's still going to be Zack Snyder. So it's going to be very grimy, very dark.
Yeah.
Not a lot of color to it and very dramatic scenes, but
And an hour and a half of slow mo per episode.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So, but I still like his way of making movies, so I'm still looking forward to seeing that.
He's
So,
definitely got a very.
Isn't it supposed to be like 4 hours long too? Or
they're
something?
making it 4 1-hour episodes instead of
they're
one
making it a
long
miniseries.
movie. Yeah.
Crazy.
Breaking it up because it's too damn long.
Mm-hmm.
Too damn. Yeah.
Too damn long.
Exactly. Well, anything else you guys want to chat about there, or should we move right into the main topic here?
Let's
Let's
dive in.
Let's
Get her
do
going,
it.
bud.
All right, so this is the 2020 year in review. I kind of made a list here, and I'll kind of go through it. Anything that kind of jumps out to you guys, I just want you to jump in, kind of give your thoughts, because 2020, a couple ups, a lot of downs, I'd say.
Yeah.
And it starts off like January. It starts off like already pretty terrible. Like Australia wildfires, those were going on at the end of 2019. And those were continuing through January. One of the big stories of that though was that Instagram model who raised over $700,000 by selling her nudes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys remember that?
I do remember
course.
that. Yeah.
Guy like me, of course. I remember that.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because I think she ended up getting banned from Instagram for that, but I think that kind of like really kicked off. I think, well, also with the pandemic being the pandemic, but that kind of I think really kicked off OnlyFans and like people just like
Oh yeah.
Seeing the market for the OnlyFans there.
Seeing how like the potential to make money. Like if you're at home, you got nothing else to do, you may as well do this kind of stuff, right?
Exactly.
But there's a huge spike in that.
Especially as the years go on with the lockdown, like now people have lots of free time on their hands and they need to make money somehow still. So this is a really easy market to get into, right? So
and all the people staying at home don't have much else to watch, so OnlyFans.
There you go. And then Donald Trump almost causes World War III on like the very first week of the year by doing a drone strike to an Iranian general. That was pretty insane.
Right. I remember the interview that I watched with him sitting there. He's like, yeah, we're sitting there, we're drinking coffee, and we're watching on the TV, the satellites, and the missiles coming in, and boom. And I'm like, you're making it sound like you watched a movie.
Yeah.
Like, you're a psychopath.
Just nonchalantly, like, oh yeah, I just about cleared war. No big deal.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, he's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Follow that up, and then Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, they essentially did they move to Canada? I think they moved to Canada, right?
Yes, they
Anyways,
did, yeah.
they said they're not being part of the royal family really anymore.
They want their own thing.
And I don't know. I have a problem with the royal family, and even them being like a thing in the year 2020 or 2021 now, I should say.
Yeah.
I don't think a royal family should exist anymore, but whatever.
At this point, they have no power. It's all just them being a figurehead. It's just their celebrities. That's it. No different than the Kardashians, really, at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but I was like, I could care less about them and why that's a big deal that they don't want to be part of the royal family at all. Whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of. I got into that. I could never understand how people are just like, "Oh, are you guys gonna watch the royal wedding? Are you guys gonna be like?" And the whole world just stops to watch. It's like, who gives a fuck? Nobody. Like, I don't.
No one cares.
This didn't even be like a second thought. Like, okay, who cares? But I don't know. That's my opinion anyway.
I agree with that as well. Yes, that's yeah.
And then there's a big kerfuffle in the MLB, the Houston Astros. They were caught cheating, not the previous year, but the year before that when they won the World Series. They were reviewing tapes and found that they were sign stealing. So what essentially, if you don't know what that means, the not the umpire, but the catcher kind of does a sign to the pitcher and to know what pitch to throw next.
Right.
And they had a camera focused in on the hand signals, and when they knew they were throwing a certain pitch they would tell the people in the dugout, and they would bang on a large trash can to make a bunch of noise so that the batter knows that the right pitch is coming and he could hit a home run or whatever.
What?
Yeah.
It was.
I've never even heard of this. Oh my god!
It's so elaborate. It almost sounds too good to be true. But it all happened apparently.
So that came that made one of my favorite TikToks of the year, which was some dude just in the basement, and it was like he's up to bat, and it was playing the I forget what that song is, and I forget who it's by, but it has the big drum solo or whatever, and he's like hitting the trash can. And he hits the baseball.
In the Air Tonight by
yes,
Bryan Adams.
Phil Collins.
Phil Collins.
Phil Collins, exactly. It was the best.
Awesome.
And then we had the Jeopardy Greatest of All Time tournament, and that was won by Ken Jennings. And that's kind of interesting, like how this tournament happened at the beginning of the year. I think we knew at the time that Alex Trebek had cancer, but it's kind of interesting that
I think he revealed it 2019, I believe. Mm-hmm. I think at this point you knew already. Yeah,
it's just kind of interesting looking back that like we had this monumental tournament at the beginning of the year, and then ending the year he ended up passing away, which is pretty unfortunate. And now Ken Jennings is the temporary host, which I don't know. Seems like he's doing a fine job, I guess.
Seems like a right choice too. Kind of
replacement, I think.
Yeah.
People were asking for more of a more celebrity kind of a host, but I think this is fine. Still just the same. So
exactly.
People wanted a more a face they can recognize to be the host instead. But I'm okay with this too. So
for sure. Then we had another huge monumental thing happening, which is Trump's impeachment trial began. It's not the greatest January for Trump, almost starting World War III and then getting impeached, which they didn't go through, but it didn't matter because he's not president anymore, I guess. Well, in 17 days, I think, is when
Joe
was supposed to take over.
Right.
Another weird, interesting story. They recreated the voice of a 3,000-year-old Egyptian priest by like doing a mold of his vocal cords or whatever, and then 3D printing it, and they played the sound. Did you guys ever see this video?
No,
I read an article on it, but I never saw the video of it.
It was like the biggest waste of time ever because they just played they pushed air through it, and it was just like.
I remember reading this article when it came out last year. My first thought was, have you guys ever seen Jurassic Park 3?
Yeah.
Where they make right in the beginning they make like a vocal track of a raptor's vocal cord.
Yeah, and
they use it in the movie to confuse the raptors. Like, this is my first thought. I'm like, this is stupid. Like, this is what was that? Like,
yeah.
My first thought was that just waste of time.
And then some really tragic news. Kobe Bryant and his 13-year-old daughter, they died in a helicopter crash. This really, really bummed me out. Like, I'm a big basketball fan, and of course, like, that was all they were talking about for forever. Teams are honoring them by doing a 24-second and 8-second violations, which are essentially like the shot clock violations, because 24 and 8 were the numbers that he both wore.
Right.
And like the weird, crazy part was like LeBron James literally passed him on the all-time scoring board, like I think 2 days before he died, which is, I don't know, just weird timing, I guess.
Okay.
But that was a really bummer moment for me. I don't know about you guys. You guys probably didn't care that much, but
no, it's my family is huge into basketball. Like my dad, my brothers, they're huge fans of the whole sport and everything, and they were really upset about it, and they were telling me all this stuff that you're telling me now. Like, I don't really follow it too much. I mean, I played in high school because I had the height. I was the tallest kid in our school for like 12 years, so I had to play basketball. So I kind of followed a little bit, but my dad was huge into basketball, and that's the first time I've actually seen him like actually really upset.
Right.
Well, and my brothers too. They were just like super bummed out. The whole world was really bummed out because he seemed like just a genuinely good person too, right? So that's the worst. Is the good ones always go. It seems like, but
Well, that's the thing too. I think because like he spent his whole career in L.A. In L.A. being like the center for all celebrities. Like you have musicians, movie stars, you name it. They're all going to Lakers games and they're all fans of Kobe. So it's like every celebrity in the world is a fan of Kobe Bryant. So they're all upset that he passed away.
Yeah.
And then his daughter also dying in the crash, which
that was really saddening.
really saddening. And like if you think about it too, you guys probably don't know, but she was like gonna be a basketball prodigy, and like he was coaching her team and stuff like that. I think like they would have done really amazing stuff for like the women's NBA, the WNBA.
Especially now too with when COVID and lockdowns happened, WNBA got even bigger now this last few year for sure.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Yeah.
Yes. So down the road for sure that would have been a big thing. Yeah.
Yeah, brought some star power to that league, but
super shitty thing.
Absolutely.
And then moving on to some more bad news. There's not a whole lot of highlights in this year for sure. Britain left the European Union. That officially happened at the end of January. And then you had the Grammy Awards, when Billie Eilish won pretty much all the categories. And I'm not a huge fan of Billie Eilish. I don't know about you guys, but
same.
Oh, her mumbling is like top notch, man. She can mumble anything. She's an incredible mumbler. I can see why she wins everything because she's so talented. It just blows my mind.
I think it's like, I don't know, nobody says this because of course she's like, her name's on everything, but I think her brother is actually the talent in that group, like the guy who makes all her beats and stuff for him. Like, because what is it, the Bad Guy song? Like, that's a really catchy beat.
Right.
But, not a fan of her singing anyways.
Yeah.
And then at the end of January, there's some virus that got discovered in Wuhan. But it's okay, probably not hear about that again for the rest of the year, I don't think. Not a big, just a tiny little footnote on January.
Another Chinese virus, as Trump would call it.
Yeah, exactly. Moving on to February, you had Patrick Mahomes, the Kansas City Chiefs. They beat the 49ers to win the Super Bowl, which, all right.
Good for them.
Good for them. And then you had the Oscars. I shouldn't have shared this document with you guys because I was going to quiz you guys on who do you think, if you could remember who won Best Picture and that sort of thing. But since you guys see it. But Best Picture, Parasite. I saw it. I know Tyler saw it. Did you see it, Eric?
I did not see it, no. But I heard,
You have to see that movie. That is a
finally
incredible but fucked up movie.
Oh yeah, it was the most original fucked up movie I've ever seen in my life, and it was beautifully crafted. It was amazing.
Yeah, and that was, I think, the first foreign film to win Best Picture ever.
I think so. Yeah. I'm pretty sure you're right. I'm pretty sure this was it was a big first for everything, like for this.
Because normally foreign, I forget what the official award is, but they usually have their own Best Picture award, right? Yeah. So
they
do. Foreign film goes to whatever, but like this one, the actual awesome.
the main Best Picture, rarely, it hasn't happened yet. No, so
yeah.
And Joaquin Phoenix won Best Actor for Joker. A pretty decent movie.
That was good, yeah. I liked the performance, but yeah.
He was phenomenal, for sure.
Yeah, his acting was top notch in that, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think that movie, it's a good movie too as well for that. So
very uncomfortable performance to watch. So he definitely deserves it.
Our good friend Kent's favorite movie of all time.
Absolutely.
Oh my god. Yeah, he's obsessed.
And then Best Actress Renee Zellweger won for Judy, which was a movie about Judy Garland. I don't know. Never seen it.
Never seen it.
And then Trump got acquitted for his impeachment, which was probably people saw that coming, I guess. And then we had the Kobe Bryant memorial service, which was like almost a month after he died, but there was some interesting things. It was really sad, of course, but then they had Michael Jordan talking, and he had one of the best jokes
lines
of the year,
which
was Kobe. I think he said like some like Kobe Bryant has me crying up here. They're gonna make another meme out of me.
Another
just like,
meme.
just made the whole like crowd like
Yeah.
laugh, and it was really awesome.
Yeah, it was a good way to kind of break the tension there, made everyone feel a lot more comfortable. That service for sure was really good. Yeah.
Exactly. And then, of course, I don't know if you guys remember this, but Snoop Dogg threatened Oprah's best friend, Gayle King, because Gayle King was bringing up, there was allegations of Kobe Bryant and rape in the past, which none of that ever went anywhere, but Gayle King was bringing that up after he died, and Snoop Dogg was like, why would you say some stuff about Kobe Bryant? And he's like, somebody's gonna get you for this or something like that, and like which caused Gayle King to like freak out, and then like Oprah had to like go and like do an interview, and she's like, she's crying all the time and stuff like that.
I might have to watch videos of that.
I hear about that. No.
It was a pretty funny thing. And then this coronavirus thing spread across China, which I remember, working in radio at the start of the year, is following this a little bit, and I had a buddy who was living in China at the time, so I got to do a really good interview with him, kind of him telling what was happening, and it was like him talking about lockdown and stuff like that, and saying how going outside, it was like there's nobody around, nobody walking, like it was minus 40 in winter here or something like that. And it was like, wow, this is so crazy. not knowing that
a sign of things to come.
A couple months later, we like, oh, okay, I see how this feels.
Right.
Then we had Netflix releases Love is Blind. I did not watch the show. I watched like a breakdown of the show. Did any of you guys watch this at all?
No.
Well, the premise of it was like the two people would go into like booths, and like there'd be a microphone, and they would talk to each other, but they couldn't see. And then at the end of them talking, if they thought they had a good enough connection, they could meet. But essentially, them meeting was saying that they would marry them as well. So you had to say like, yes, I'll marry this person without ever seeing them, only ever just talking to them.
Right.
And they did that, and it was just a train wreck. There was like some woman who got drunk all the time, and she's like hitting on another dude. But yeah.
Oh my god. It's like Netflix's attempt to make a reality show.
Exactly. It was hot for a minute there.
Jesus.
And then you had 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days, which brought Big Ed to the world.
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, the guy with no neck, right? That's
the guy with no neck.
Yeah.
That's what that's from?
Yeah.
Oh
he went to like the Philippines and was like trying to get his like his girlfriend to like brush her teeth and stuff like that and stuff like that. He's like, turns out he was not a good dude, which was.
Yeah.
I
forgot about that.
Yeah, he was an interesting guy. Now I don't know what he's doing now, but trying to bank on his fame, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Then we move on to March, and one of the funniest stories from the start of March was Public Enemy, the rap group, kicking out Flavor Flav because they played at a Bernie Sanders rally. Which was just hilarious to me, because I think Flavor Flav is like the most useless guy in rap ever. Like all he does is say "yeah, boy" and wears a clock around his neck. So like I could just like imagine the argument in the back where like he wants to get paid or whatever, and they're like, "Man, you're nothing to this band. Like get out of here." Like
yeah, right.
It's like, know your role, man.
We're never a thing.
Yeah. And Italy ended up locking down their whole entire country after like they got like 10,000 cases and like 700 people died.
Yeah.
They like spread really, really fast. And
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, the Italy scare really got things in motion to kind of get everyone prepared for the lockdown, and really bumped up the media's coverage of it to really get the word out, and kind of spooked a lot of people for sure with that. So
yeah, and I remember there's videos of mayors like just out in the streets with megahorns, like telling people to stay at home and stuff.
Mhm.
Even one that had like a drone with a speaker on it, and he was flying the drone around and telling people that were walking around to go home. And he's like, "What are you
Stay
trying
inside.
to do? Kill everybody? Get out of here!"
Right.
And then March, like this is kind of
So when
where
it got real.
yeah, like it
Yeah.
all kicked off. Like I remember, like this kind of being the start of it, which is when the NBA suspended their season after one of the Utah Jazz players, Rudy Gobert, tested positive. And it was like, oh wow, they're shutting the whole thing down. And then I think literally the next day, or maybe even the same day, NHL said they're pausing because
Yep.
they share the same locker rooms, share the same arenas for a lot of the time. So if you know, because I think they were in Toronto, or Toronto was playing Utah or something like that. Which thankfully none of the Toronto players got COVID,
Yeah.
but it was
Right.
really interesting. And then I was like, holy crap! And then all of a sudden, Trudeau and Trump closed the border. It's like, oh, it's in the States now. It's in Canada.
Yep.
And
And at the time too, it was only like maybe like 20 or so cases. Like it wasn't as big as it is now, which I find looking back is like, holy crap! Like we were freaking out back then, and now with cases have quadrupled in number, and
Oh,
we're
yeah.
still like,
Oh, yeah.
now it's
and
like,
how back then we were
sick
so
of-
scared and everything else, and yeah,
Yeah, now we're like, who cares? It's just COVID.
it's exactly. It's how that always changed so much since
Just get
then.
done with that. Get the vaccine out. Get the microchips in ya. And all the other conspiracy theorists out there. Fuck's sakes, boy.
which I say, like, who cares? COVID. I should clarify. You should care and
Absolutely,
do the right
you should.
thing and prevent the
Still
spread.
freaking losing.
Yes.
And don't go to anti-mask rallies, you psychopaths.
Yeah, that's a strange thing to do.
that's a
Yeah.
strange thing to do.
Yeah, that's like probably the stupidest fucking thing you can do, if I'm going to be honest. But that's just
But yeah, I mean that caused restaurants, bars, barbershops, schools to shut down, which tons of layoffs. I know me and Eric suffered layoffs. Eric, you got your job back pretty quickly.
A couple of weeks, thankfully. Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, I was back on, thankfully. But yeah, still, that was a very nerve-wracking few days for sure because
Oh, yeah.
you knew what the hell.
Yeah,
Right.
And, I did not get my job back, but I got the best thing in the world, Serb. No,
Serb
Serb.
for the win.
God bless Serb.
Serb.
I joke, but inside I'm actually crying. But and then in March, because COVID took over everything, Gal Gadot and a bunch of her celebrities put out this stupid fucking video of them singing "Imagine" by John Lennon there, and just like
It was so tone deaf
exactly
of what was happening for everybody else. It was just the intentions were there, but just what they did with it was wrong. It wasn't the right thing to do. They weren't thinking that far ahead.
exactly.
It shows.
It's like, come on, guys, cheer up. We're celebrities. Let us sing. It's like, shut up.
Shut up.
Exactly. You guys are all suffering in your big fucking mansions, doing whatever.
Exactly.
Get the fuck out of here.
Exactly.
No. Oh, we gotta say something, so we may as well sing Imagine.
They're forgetting about us. We got to make sure they remember us still with their lockdowns. Like, oh,
We're still here, guys.
Yeah.
We're all suffering too.
Yeah, and then there's more sports delays. MLB, since they were, I think, starting their spring training, they canceled that and said they're pushing the season start back. The 2020 Olympics were going to be in the summertime, but they just went right ahead and said, screw it, we're going all the way to 2021 with those. And then we had Prince Charles got COVID, which I don't know how he didn't die because that guy's ancient, but but seriously, I don't know. And then this one was hilarious to me because I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of The Office, and like I've seen episodes. It is funny. I will admit that. I'm just not a huge fan of like the hype around The Office, where everybody's like, "It's the best show in the world." So like when John Krasinski started Some Good News on YouTube, and he's just doing like, I thought it was like pretty schlocky stuff. He's like, "Hey, check out, look, these cheerleaders, they're doing, I don't know," or whatever feel good news he found.
Yeah.
I was like, this is dumb. And then he ended up selling it to, I think, NBC for like millions of dollars, and I just thought that was hilarious because it's like, cool. He's like,
Really? I didn't know about that. He ended up selling it to a
right away, and everybody was like, "Oh, we thought that he was just doing like this really nice thing, just to try and brighten people up. He's getting all these people together and all this stuff." But he was like, "Oh, if I get these celebrities, maybe I can make some money off of this." And he's like, just became like a big sellout.
Oh my god! I had no idea about that.
Yeah,
Shit.
Albert, what? No, Pam would be so disappointed in you. And yeah, I love the Office. So fuck you, Scott. It is the best show ever made.
I'm with Scott.
I might actually change that. Ozark might be, but yeah, Office is still up there for me.
I'm with Scott. I enjoyed The Office, and I enjoyed what John did at first. That's some good news. It wasn't a good thing, and having your first character was Steve Carell, and it was nice. It was a good little thing, and I thought, oh, that's a nice thing for him to do. But I had no idea he's sold.
I lost all respect for him. I'm like, you sellout, man. Like, you're doing this for all the people, all the fans, all the people that are struggling out there to try and brighten them up, and then you sell it to make millions of dollars. Oh my god. Well, I guess whatever. I guess I would do the same thing, so I shouldn't say anything.
Nature of the beast, I guess. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, he's sitting at home like every other actor is, because all their sets are shut down, and like, good for him. I guess he made the most out of it. He's like, I'm gonna get paid during this lockdown stuff.
Exactly.
Then you had Animal Crossing coming out on the Switch, which was like the best time for that game to come out ever, I think, because everybody was bored at home, and they could have a feel-good game where they decorate an island and catch fish and say hello to animals.
Weren't you the one that told me that when you plant your crops, you have to wait to actually go back and harvest them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
It's kind of like if you're at home and you're playing a game and you just kind of want to do stuff. You plant your crops, now you got to sit there and you got to wait like 5 hours to go back and harvest them.
It's in real time, so that way it means like
you go to sleep, take a nap, set your alarm for 5 hours, wake up, harvest your tomatoes, start the process over again.
It's pretty much like, it's like you go around, do your chores or whatever that you do like for the day, and like then once you've done all that stuff, then it's like you got nothing left to do, so it's like, okay, just stop playing and then come back and play it tomorrow. It's kind of almost like a weird mobile game, kind of, sort of.
Interesting. That's interesting.
I played the first one on the GameCube. I enjoyed it, but the new one now is, I guess, really, really good. So I haven't played Animal Crossing in 15 years, and
I was into it for, I think probably like a couple weeks or something. It was like, after a while, it's just like, I don't know. You have to, at some point where to keep progressing and making your island better, you have to make it like 3 stars or something like that. And I just didn't have the patience for that sort of stuff. And my older sister and my younger sister played it as well, and they enjoyed it. It's just nice, fun, easygoing game at the start of the pandemic.
Time waster.
And then, of course, probably the biggest thing, and this is another thing that like definitely capitalized on being out at the beginning of the pandemic, which was Tiger King releases on Netflix, and everybody watched that show, and it was just insane.
Fucking disaster whirlwind.
Yeah,
it was a dumpster fire. I could not stop watching for a solid 3-4 days.
I watched the first half of the first episode, and then whatever happened, we then finished watching it, and I got to work. And man, I knew everything about that show just by listening to everybody talk about it. Everybody watched it. Everybody was like losing their mind. Oh, Carol Baskins totally killed her husband and this and that. I'm like, what? Is this the same documentary that I was watching about that guy that was buying exotic tigers?
Right.
Cages and super hillbilly? Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a really interesting documentary. It was... Because, the subject was so interesting. Joe Exotic was just an insane person, and who was also gay and addicted to meth and had 2 husbands who were straight, but married him because I think they were both addicted to meth.
They wanted his money, yeah.
And And then he was also a fake country singer where he's like, I'll sing songs, even though you can definitely tell it was not him singing the songs. And
Oh my god.
he had a vendetta against Carol Baskin, which was another insane character as well, who definitely, I won't say she killed her husband, but she definitely knows what happened to her husband, I'll say that.
Yeah, it was all a little fishy.
Yeah. And Joe Exotic's kind of been in the news recently because since Trump is leaving office, he's been kind of handing out pardons to some of his buddies. And one of the people who is asking for a pardon is Joe Exotic. So I thought I'd ask you guys: do you think Joe Exotic should be pardoned and let out of jail?
No.
No. That is the correct
be a
answer.
question, but I mean, whatever. If he's feeding meth to his little sex slaves that are single, and he's hiring people to kill other people, I think that's no, we don't need more people like that.
Oh, that was another insane part of
Hanging
the
out.
documentary was one of his husbands like committing suicide, and they had like the security cam footage, not of like directly of him, but like the security camera was like the camera was right above where he was sitting, so you see like everybody's reaction to it, and it's just like, holy fuck, why would you put that in the show?
Right.
Whoa. Yeah.
Yeah, that was intense.
I might have to watch it, honestly, just to get the full experience, maybe the whole exotic experience.
Exotic experience. Oh, and then oh my god, there's just so much. Like, you remember the show? You had the caretaker that worked for him who got her arm bitten off by one of the tigers, and then like Joe Exotic tells everybody to leave, and he's like, I'll never financially recover from
The
this.
biggest meme of 2020. I'm never going to financially recover from this.
Yeah, that was something.
What a year, and it was only like we're only up to what, March?
March. Yeah, that
Holy
was at the end of
Christ.
March there. And then
Wow.
we moved on to we'll move on to April, where Wrestlemania 36 was held over 2 days because somebody was smart and finally told them, hey, nobody can sit through 8 hours of wrestling. You should split it up into 2 days.
Right.
And there was some interesting stuff about WrestleMania 36. Of course, this was during the pandemic, so there was nobody at the shows, and I still think I haven't really watched wrestling since the pandemic started because I don't know, I just can't get into it without the crowd being there, because the crowd really enhances wrestling, and
Absolutely.
like
Yeah.
without it, I don't know, but it's just weird. And then there was drama about them canceling the event because it was getting really close to WrestleMania, and people were like, I want my refund because you guys need to cancel this. But they wouldn't cancel it because they were trying to get the Florida government to put in a restriction to say that it gets canceled so that they could get their money back or something like that from the arena.
Right.
Very strange. And then we had Easter, which I remember doing Easter this year, and that was the first time we did like a Zoom thing with the family there. I don't know about you guys, if you guys did anything different for Easter.
Jeez, it feels like such a long time ago. I don't even remember what I did for Easter, honestly. I don't think I did anything. I think we just kind of stuck around, if I remember correctly.
I think so. The same thing. I think I went to my parents again, maybe just for supper kind of thing, and that was it. Yeah.
For sure. And then we had Zoomcast reunions became a really big thing. First, I think, started with The Office with John Krasinski there with some good news. He organized a reunion. And then they had what's his name, Josh Gad, the guy who plays Olaf in Frozen. He started hosting a bunch of different ones for The Goonies and Lord of the Rings. And did you guys watch any of these at all?
No, I didn't.
I tried watching the Lord of the Rings one, and it's just so cringy because the guy who plays Gimli's internet service was so terrible. It's cutting out. It's oh my god, I just hated it, and people are talking over each other because the whole
lag
thing, and it's and like, oh, Gimli's back. He reconnected, and like his webcam's like pointing at his forehead and above and stuff like that. Just, like,
He doesn't look like he's the most like technically literate.
well, that's the thing.
guy.
It's like everybody in freaking Lord of the Rings is super old, except for like the hobbits and Orlando Bloom, really.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and then you have TikTok really becoming super popular back in April, and I think also like I don't know if it was around this time as well, but there were, or maybe it was later, where the U.S. was saying they were going to ban TikTok for a while because it was essentially Chinese spyware or something like that, and I think some company ended up buying it. But yeah, TikTok became the thing, all these TikTok challenges and all this other stuff, and
yep, that's right.
TikTok's
that's
right.
right. Yeah, it's not bad. I find myself losing hours every time I open that stupid app. It's like, oh shit, an hour went by.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just watch the
Brutal.
stuff you guys share. And like that's the other thing too, is like the best TikToks find their way off of TikToks into like Twitter or YouTube or something like that. So it's like,
Exactly.
it's like,
We don't even need it.
Exactly. You have somebody else curating it for you, so you don't have to watch garbage.
Exactly. That just becomes another string of vines. It's the same thing.
The exact same thing as a Vine. Yeah, it's just short little clips.
And hilarious.
Some of them are funny for sure. And this one I learned like just yesterday, which was the price of U.S. oil turned negative for the first time in history, and it was minus $37.63 a barrel. Which I don't get how that works. Could you just like get barrels and like people would pay you to get a barrel essentially?
Yes, yeah. I don't know how that works either, but I'm not sure.
It'd be like them giving you money and oil at the same time. Like here's $35 or $37 and a barrel.
It's so undervalued.
There you go. Or something.
But I guess
Zero.
okay, I guess
I don't know how
would have to
that would
sell
work.
that to you. Has somebody like you can't just go be like, give me a barrel and give me $37.
Right? Yeah, that just,
Somebody would
would
have to
not make.
agree. Okay.
I don't know how that works.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say like, why didn't I know about this, and why do I not have like 40 barrels of oil in my
Exactly.
backyard or something?
Right. Exactly.
And then yeah, Trump like started going crazy at the end of April, saying that you should start injecting disinfectant and using UV lights to cure COVID. And then he also said stuff like, this is when he started calling it the China virus and saying that the virus was made in Wuhan, even though people are like, no, it's not a man-made virus. And
I'm calling it what it is. It was made in China, so it's the Chinese virus.
Exactly.
I'm like, oh my god, his press conference. I love his press conferences, man. Oh my god, you could make like a 2020 highlight. It'd be the best thing. He's just such a lunatic.
So crazy.
And people are just like so in love with him too. It's crazy.
yeah.
It's wild.
And then we move on to May. We have Elon Musk and Grimes named their baby. Like, I don't even know how you... It's XAEA12, which...
How do you pronounce that?
I don't know. Like, so I think I remember somebody saying, like, it's pronounced Kyle or something like that, which I was like, what? How is that
Some
pronounced?
kind of Xenos language, a Tyranid
Yeah.
encryption. He is an alien, right? So may as well speak in his native tongue. Yeah.
Jesus.
All I know is, like, they said it was the what each meant, and he said X is for the unknown variable, AE is Elvish for AI, which means both life and artificial intelligence, and then the A12 was Elon Musk's and Grimes' favorite aircraft or whatever, or something like that.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god.
It's like,
You can't be serious.
yeah.
Coming from a like living genius, this is what he comes up with.
Ugh.
Oh, well.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we had Justin Trudeau announces a ban on 1,500 different assault-style weapons in the response to the Nova Scotia mass shooting, which was, I think, the biggest mass shooting in modern history, I think.
Mhm.
Which,
Right.
I'm not gonna...
Like in Canada or
Yeah,
yeah, in
in
Canada.
Canada, for sure, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
yeah. we got nowhere close to the state's numbers. I don't.
No,
No,
I didn't think so.
no.
Okay, I was like, yeah, because I'm pretty sure the states had some pretty monumental ones.
Exactly. Yeah, but and then we had the actor who played the Mountain in Game of Thrones set a world deadlifting record by lifting 1,104 pounds, which is
Beast.
that's
Jesus.
insane.
That's a ton. That's fuck, like it's almost half of the weight of an elephant, pretty much. That's huge.
Yeah, crazy.
Guy weighs half that.
True.
So that probably helps.
Jerry Seinfeld returned to stand up after 22 years with 23 Hours to Kill Netflix special. I did not watch it.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people were like super excited for it, and then they watched it and they're like, "It's terrible."
I did watch that, and it's not really it's a stand up, but it's like stand up and documentary because it's half of it stand up, but the other half is him like talking about his life and I sat on this corner for a long time in New York and lived here and lived here for a while. I was like, okay, but we came to watch a stand up, dude. Like, show us a stand up.
But that's the thing too. It's like you think about Jerry Seinfeld's stand up, which was if you ever watched Seinfeld, like those like beginning and end parts are his stand up. Like that's what he did. Like it's not really thinking about that doing that today. It's like I don't know. Like would anybody find that funny really?
Oh, I remember when we used to watch Seinfeld. Like Seinfeld, the show was incredible because of the supporting cast.
Oh yeah.
Whenever the show would start and end, like as soon as the show started and there was a stand up going on, we would quickly run and get snacks while that part was on because we didn't give a shit about that part because it was terrible. And we would come back once the actual show started.
Yeah, so a couple one-liners of what he was talking about. That was kind of it, but it wasn't. You didn't watch it for that. You watched it for Kramer. You watched it for George, Elaine, their interactions.
That's right. Great show.
Yep, exactly. I agree. I'm sorry. I was just kind of looking at the recording time, which is insane because we've been going for 50 minutes already.
What?
Yeah.
Should we just do half a year and do another half again, or?
I don't know. I think we can maybe kind of blaze through it real quick here. I'll just kind of maybe cut out some of the smaller stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, you had ending up May. You had one of the other biggest things about this year, which was the George Floyd video of him getting murdered by the police, where the officer kneeled on his neck for almost 9 minutes, while he was saying you couldn't breathe and stuff like that. And of course, that sparked this huge Black Lives Matter movement and protests and stuff like that.
That's right. That's right. I can't believe that all happened this year. Jesus.
It is, yeah. Like you kind of almost forget about it, even though that was such a huge thing. I remember talking about that, like during the summertime, and I think everybody was kind of on the same page. It's like that. If you watch that video, you're like, "Damn, that's hard to watch."
Yeah,
definitely. Oh yeah, definitely not easy to watch. That's just crazy that it happened at the same time because it just seems like one world disaster, and then the next one there's another one, and then there's another one, and it's just like you can't even keep track of what's happening anymore. It's just one big disaster.
Yeah, exactly. And then that of course led to, like I said, protests, which some turned into riots, some were like friendly and stuff. And there was tons of videos of just police like just spraying innocent people and stuff like that and all this other stuff. Trump was gonna threaten to send in the military, and then also had effects on other things. Like I remember because I think it was like supposed to be E3 that week or whatever, and I think Sony and Microsoft like ended up postponing their press conferences and stuff like that, and they were going to show off the PlayStation 5, but they're like, hey, this isn't the right time to be doing this and stuff like that, so they ended up pushing that back. And then you had also other weird stuff, like the Dixie Chicks changed their name to just the Chicks because Dixie had a connection to the Confederacy in the South, I guess, and same thing with Lady Antebellum. They changed their name to Lady A. And then they tried to sue another singer who had been using that name for years, which was like, what a bunch of assholes you are. Like, I don't know. That was her name. Just pick something else if you're stupid.
I didn't know about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was not a good look for them.
No.
Also in June, you had Last of Us Part 2 coming out, which tons of people were super excited for, but then part of it leaked early, and fans learned some stuff, and they got really angry, and they claimed Naughty Dog was trying to be woke by including LGBT characters and stuff. So like the game, reviewed by critics got like 9.5s, 10s, 9s out of 10s and stuff like that. But if you went to Metacritic and saw the user score, even before the game even came out, it was like sitting at like a 2.5 out of 10 or something like that. So that's when Metacritic was like, okay, you have to have confirmed purchases to review this or something like that. I think is what they decided to implement.
Right.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I never did play the first one.
I played the first one. It was incredible. I've been dying to play the second one. I'm just trying to get Carly caught up in the story of the first one so I can play this one because I know it's going to be good. I don't care about the whole LGBT thing. Like I don't really care. I just know that Naughty Dog makes great games every time they release something, so I don't give a shit. I'm sure it's going to be incredible.
Yeah.
So, I have yet to play it to make an actual, justified opinion, but
yeah, I didn't play the first one. I watched a playthrough of it, and then I don't know. Maybe I'll watch a playthrough of the second one. Moving on to July, the NBA and the NHL and the MLB all come back, and sports are back. Essentially, is the theme of July. With the NBA, they were returning to a bubble in Orlando on Disneyland. Or Disney World, I should say. And then they had big thing. They had Black Lives Matter on the side of the court, and they had like special phrases on the back of their jerseys, like education reform, justice, all this other stuff, whatever they decided. Which was all great. But there's also a lot of really funny, weird stuff that happened with the NBA bubble. Like one of the players got suspended for trying to meet like his Uber Eats driver at the fence, because which is like, come on, man, be professional. There was like another guy who was attending a funeral. He was gonna be late to arrive to the bubble, which was fine. But then like he got caught on social media that he like attended a strip club in Atlanta. He's like, I was there for chicken wings or something like that. So it's like, hey, you have to do a longer quarantine now because you went out in the public, which is crazy. And then the NHL, they had the bubbles in Edmonton and Toronto, which was cool, I guess.
It was good to watch hockey back again. I enjoyed that. So yeah,
there you go. And yeah, the MLB came back in Toronto Blue Jays, since they're in Toronto and the border was closed. They had to play in Buffalo, which sucks for them, I guess.
Yeah. Hooray for sports.
Hooray for sports. They're back.
Go sports.
Go sports. August, you had, at the beginning of the month, that giant explosion in Beirut.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Jesus.
And like
the fertilizer storage explosion. Yeah, that was something.
And just millions of camera angles and footage from that, and that was insane. Like just when the shockwave and all of a sudden, boom, and like
the photo I shared where it was the photo before and after, where you just see the actual photo. It's just a crater in that hole. This
satellite before and after. Yeah, like just wild, man.
Yeah. The force of that explosion was massive.
It's just wild. Like, how does that even happen? Why is there so much freaking fertilizer sitting in there? It's not even a farm, damn it! What are you doing?
You had, I think this might be the number one song of the year. I know it was number one when it released, which was WAP by Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion. If you don't know what WAP stands for, I'll let you Google it, I guess.
You figured out.
Which, I remember hanging out at the campground there and having that song play a lot. It was pretty funny, I guess.
They know all the words. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That became a thing is beyond me, but yeah.
And then we had movie theaters trying to start back up. You had Tenet and Bill and Ted and New Mutants releasing in theaters, and I think all but Tenet really bombed. Like Tenet kind of made some money, but not a lot.
Right.
I still haven't seen it. I should probably watch it at some point. I think it's out on demand. I think maybe
It is. Yeah, I saw that.
think
But
it is.
I've heard some very mixed reviews on that one too.
yeah, which is
That it's. Yeah, I don't know. I heard like, well, I don't want to get too much into specifics, but like a lot of it doesn't really make sense, and there's no character building like at all, and it's and it's a real chore to keep up with what the fuck is happening, And he like created like a whole formula on how time flows, like how they're able to go forward while everything's going in reverse, and it's just like it just made no sense, kind of thing. Like, why would this even be like a plot idea? Who would even go to these lengths to do this? It's just kind of like a weird. It's almost like he's trying to like up his Interstellar for creativity and just like trying to do his own science thing, but
tried a bit too hard and didn't.
yeah, and it just kind of fell flat. But then other people are like, "Man, it's mind blowing. You got to watch it more than once to really appreciate it." So it's like, well, I mean, I don't want to have to watch it 2 or 3 times to understand what the fuck's going on because I'm a pretty simple guy. I like twists. Don't get me wrong, but like having to do math while I'm watching a show, no, I'm out.
Yeah.
Ellen DeGeneres almost got canceled. If you remember that, everybody was a bunch of former employees are coming out saying she's just like an asshole backstage and like wouldn't let people look at her or talk to her or stuff like that. And then you had a bunch of celebrities like, "What? Ellen DeGeneres is always nice to me." It's like, of course she is, you dumbass.
Right.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. And yeah, I guess like the really big thing in August was Chadwick Boseman ended up passing away from colon cancer, which was a total surprise because nobody even knew he had colon cancer.
Yeah, he did very well.
Right.
Yeah, and he was in Avengers and all these other movies and stuff like that, and everybody's like, yeah, he was suffering. I think he says he had it for like 4 years or something.
4 years, like pretty much right after Civil War, he was diagnosed, and since then he's like fought it, and then been fighting it since, and putting up with it, and still acting and performing. Yep. Like,
right.
It blew my mind when I heard that.
Yeah,
yeah,
and I think his the post on Twitter there is when I think where they first announced it, and that became I think the most retweeted tweet of all time, I believe now. And yeah, that was a really big bummer because I mean, one, of course, like us being Marvel fans, but he was like an incredible actor, and I think he was gonna be the next Denzel Washington. Really, like
for Samuel Jackson, he had roles.
A big up and comer. He was really good.
And then yeah, this kind of ties into that, which I literally learned about this yesterday, which was the singer Akon. He is developing a like real life version of Wakanda in Senegal, and he like placed like the first like stone of Akon City is what it's called. And I'm not gonna say he can't get it done because maybe he can get it done, but I went and looked at the website for Akon City, and it's not the best made website ever. So I don't know, maybe not gonna be quite Wakanda-ish. Maybe it might be like a nicer city, but I don't know if it might be Wakanda.
I might have to check this out.
Looking at it right now, what the hell? First I hear of this too.
Honda City.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just screenshots.
It's all mock-ups and CGI mock-ups.
Yeah, Akon City is what it's called.
Oh, okay, Akon. Right, not Wakanda City.
And he chose Senegal because Akon is from Senegal, which I also learned yesterday. But yeah.
Well, there you go. That's something new.
Maybe in like 20 years we can all visit there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Then we move on to September. We had the Tampa Bay Lightning winning the Stanley Cup. I had no care at all. Like, I did not watch a single minute of the Stanley Cup this year at all. You had Among Us taking over all of Twitch, becoming super popular. You even had like politicians like AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, I think is her name. I don't know.
Yeah.
And leader of the NDP in Canada, Jagmeet Singh. They streamed it, which is kind of crazy.
Right.
Among Us is really good
Gotta
game.
get to that the Zoomer crowd, I guess. Apparently, so yeah.
Exactly right. Well, hey, any way you can get
Mhm.
votes, I guess.
Mhm.
But Among Us is a really awesome game, and we played it a bunch.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. If you have people, it's so much fun.
Yeah, that's the thing. You definitely have to have like a group of friends. Playing with random people is all right, but like when you're on Discord and you're lying to your friends.
We know what shows the friends are lying and when they're lying, so now everyone has a tell.
Yeah, exactly. And you're like your heart's beating when you're the imposter, and you're just like, I'm gonna kill
Carly
everybody.
knows my leg starts shaking when they're asking me questions. My leg just starts shaking. She looks at it. She's like, "Oh, you're an imposter."
You had The Boys season 2 released on Amazon Prime.
Excellent season.
Fantastic show. Highly recommend it. Have you seen it, Eric?
I started watching it and never finished it yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm enjoying it. It's just it's on my list of things to go on to and everything else. No, I like it though. So I like the first season a lot. It was great, and I'm enjoying the second season now. So no, it's good.
Yeah, I think season 2 is better than the first one.
It might be. I had my doubts though because it started off a little slow for me. It was a little bit like, and then after the first 2 episodes, it just freaking
Exactly. Yeah.
And
then,
no, I'm at about 4 episodes in right now. So
nice.
Halfway through. So yeah.
And we finally did the Wheel of Doom, which not really world news, but news kind of for us.
For us,
that was
highlight of 2020. We've been wanting to do that for like how long now?
At least over a year for sure. Might even be close to like 2 years.
2 years.
But for people who didn't know, that was mine and Eric's birthday. We were celebrating it, and I came up with this idea of doing the wheel, and everybody kind of pitched in ideas, which a lot of them were punishments and stuff like that. And every 10 minutes we had everybody spin the wheel once, and sometimes it was taking a bite out of a popsicle made out of clam chowder. Sometimes it was like doing a trivia question or taking like a shot of like 4 different alcohol things at a time, and that was a lot of fun. It was a lot of work on my part, so I don't know if I'll do it again.
We're grateful for that, Scott. It was a lot of fun. Though. It was good.
Oh, yeah. It was really good. We'll definitely have to chip in a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody will have to do something next time, but that's a great.
Now that we know what's involved with it, we definitely want to do more and make it even bigger next time.
We can streamline the next one.
Yeah.
My favorite part though was because we did the mystery gifts where it was my birthday, but I was giving out gifts, and one of them was a dildo with a suction cup, and the other one was like a Macho Man do-rag and like glasses. And the funniest part was Tyler wearing the freaking Macho Man stuff, and like the dildo's like suction cupped to the ceiling, and you're like doing this like speed bag punch with it. And I was just like watching you do that, and you're just like going at it super hard. It's so funny.
Didn't you also have the tiny hands punishment as well?
You did, yeah.
I did.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I had to do that too.
But like him punching it, and then all of a sudden like his drunkenness like wears off a little bit, and he's like, "This is gay," and stops doing it.
Oh my god.
So funny.
Good times.
Then we move on to October, where Donald Trump and Melania Trump tested positive for COVID. That was a big deal. They were later.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. LA Lakers won the World Series. They won the NBA championship, and then a couple weeks later, the LA Dodgers won the World Series. So I think there was a bunch of like parades and stuff, which added a lot of COVID numbers, I'm sure, to the California total.
Mm-hmm.
The Queen's Gambit came out on Netflix. I know, Tyler, you watched it.
Fantastic show. So good. One of the best miniseries, honestly. I used to think it was probably Band of Brothers, but I think this might take the cake. It's a flawless show. It's so good. It's so good. The performances, the story, everything, the filming, the music, everything. It's perfect. It's perfect.
Dang. Might have to watch
Very
it
good. Yeah, it's excellent.
Borat 2 released on Amazon Prime, which I don't know. It's definitely funny. There are some like really cringy moments, but I mean that's what Borat is.
Oh yeah.
There's definitely a couple parts where it's like, okay, I have to fast forward because I can't watch this.
Might have to watch it just because of that now, maybe.
Oh man, you'll I'm sure you'll figure out which part I'm talking about for sure because there's one that's just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
The Mandalorian season 2 started at the end of the month, and of course that ran through all the way through December. Fantastic show.
Yes.
I loved it
Agreed.
so much.
Agreed.
Sean Connery passed away at age 90.
Yep.
Which, I mean, you could say it's sad, but I mean, he was quite old, so it was to be expected.
The 90s a good life still, so
I think that's good. Yeah.
Absolutely. Then November, another big month, you had the U.S. election where Joe Biden won, even though the results took days to be confirmed, and then there was allegations of voter fraud, even though there was no evidence being found, and even still they're arguing about voter fraud.
Yeah.
Which hopefully in two weeks' time it's all done. We don't have to talk about it anymore.
Just drag shit out, man. That guy.
Yeah.
Even when he's out, he's not going to fight it, and it's going to be an argument for weeks to come still afterwards. And it's
for sure.
We haven't heard the last of good old Trump yet.
He'll have another Tiger King show based on his election, guaranteed. Netflix will be all over that. They'll be like, it was rigged.
Yeah. There's gonna be some sort of documentary or not mini series, but like a biopic about this for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Rudy Giuliani, the lawyer for Trump, had like the worst month ever because he it started off, I guess, technically in October with Borat 2, and he at the end of it, this made the rounds, but like he's like doing an interview and he goes into like the bedroom and he's like putting his hands down his pants with the female actress or whatever, and then Borat like busts in. He's like, "Stop! She's 14 years old," or something like that.
Right.
And then so that happens. Then the election loss happens, and then they're like, "Okay, we're gonna fight this." And then one of the places that they were supposed to go was to Philadelphia to fight it. And instead of booking the Four Seasons Hotel, they booked a Four Seasons landscaping company, and they did in the back alley. They did their press conference, which is like right next door to a porn shop and a cremation place or something like that. It was like,
oh my god,
a cavalcade of idiots! I swear.
Oh yeah, and then you had the hair dye running down his face a couple days later. Which just like made him look like he's like sweating ink or something like that. And then during a trial, he ended up farting, and everybody's like, "All right, there you go."
Yeah, almost too fake. You can't make it up, but it happened.
Man, it's just solid content for a couple weeks there. Then some more sad news. Of course, 2020 being what it is, you had Alex Trebek passing away from cancer.
Yeah, sad.
Very sad.
But I mean, also, I don't know. I forget how old he was, but I mean, he had a good life for sure. But definitely,
and colon cancer too. When you got that's a tough one to fight too. So
I remember his first announcement when he told his viewers that he was diagnosed with it. That's what really hit me. And then when then he said he's gonna fight it, he's gonna keep going and whatever. I'm like, good for you, man. And I thought, oh yeah, he'll kick it. And then when this happened, I'm like, Jesus Christ, this year can end any time now.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
yeah,
very sad.
Then you have the next gen consoles coming out: PS5, the Xbox Series S and X. I was able to get a PS5, and you guys haven't been able to get one yet, or you guys are holding off?
I'm kind of holding off, but I am pretty jealous that you have one, not going to lie.
Well, I don't know. It's cool because, one, I think so far, the two games I've played that are truly next gen are Miles Morales and Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk being kind of glitchy and crashing all the time.
Yes.
But, I don't know, it's a better PS4. That's what I should say, I guess.
Like that's kind of where I'm at right now with that, because I do want a PS5, but I don't have a high definition TV. I have just a regular 1080p, not a 4K or like the surround sound. Like I don't have what it has to make it spectacular. I just have basic stuff right now, right? So down the road when I have a nicer TV, a newer TV, and yeah, PS5 would be a nice touch because now I can see the full high definitions, the full details then, right? So yeah,
for sure.
Kind of why I'm holding off.
Yeah, and see the other thing that I look at too is like with the PS5, yeah, sure, it's great, but I mean, like, what can my PC not do that the PS5 can do, kind of thing, right? I don't know. I mean, the PS4 is still really good too. I when I see the reviews and then like the game footage on YouTube and stuff, I don't know. It hasn't really convinced me that it's obviously I'm gonna get it. It's like Call of Duty every year. It's the same shit. Of course I'm gonna buy it, but I know it's gonna be the same shit, just a little bit more polished. But maybe they'll come up with some game now. But I'm excited about the controller though. That's what I'm really excited about.
Yeah, the controller is definitely the best part.
That would be cool.
The one problem though with it is that since it is white, and I find like if you're gaming a long time, you get like the sweaty hands and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
So you see like the dirt and grime like pile up on the side of it. Gross.
So I'm sure they'll release the PS5 Black Edition or something like that. And
you can get
exactly.
Sure, something.
Yeah, and right now it's only been out for what 2 months, not even. Yeah. So yeah. Give it a few more years. By then, it'll be fun. Because I got my PS4 later in its life too, and I lasted it for 5 years now, and I'm liking it. It's still fun.
It's funny. But before it got announced that it was being released, one of our friends, Kent, actually like knocked our old PlayStation over. That thing had been around since day one, since it first came out. And I'm like, fuck. So I went and bought a new one. Boom, PS5's coming out right away. I'm like, well, I could have just waited and got one. Like, frick. But, well, that's the way she goes.
That's the way she goes. My favorite part about it, I will say, is it's such a small feature, but I like it a lot, is that there's a switcher thing. You press like the home button, it'll pop up like this quick little menu. You can go over a switcher, it'll be like, essentially it's like alt tab on your computer. So like you just go like, okay, go to switcher and switch from your game straight to YouTube. You don't have to go like to the home page, go into media, and then go launch YouTube. You can quickly just go.
Interesting.
Which is like the dumbest feature. Like, of course, like they should have that, but like,
yeah, something simple like that, they should just automatically. But
exactly. And then moving on now to December, the end is in sight. Which launched with like really weird stuff, like KFC. It being Christmas time, they got into the Christmas rom-com game and made a Colonel Sanders movie called A Recipe for Seduction starring Mario Lopez. I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah. And then they just recently they announced their KFC console or KF console, whatever the fuck it's called. Like it's essentially a small computer with a little tray that can put chicken tenders in.
It can keep you warm while you're gaming. Someone eats chicken with greasy chicken fingers while you're gaming. Oh my god!
It is an April Fool's joke, but real. It's crazy.
Exactly.
But it's not April, exactly.
And yeah, the other big gaming news this year, which was Cyberpunk 2077, finally coming out. Originally, it was supposed to come out like in March or something.
March, August, November, then December.
Yeah, and it probably could have been delayed again because it was on PC. Everybody who had like the best graphics card, they're like, man, this game's amazing. All the streamers and stuff, like, this is like the best thing ever. And like, of course, like they give like review codes only for PC out to like the people, and like, yeah, this is a pretty good game, a little bit of bugs. And then it comes out on PS4 and people are like, what the fuck is this? It's not even working.
So good.
Yeah, the freaking like the GTA, like, what is it, 3 or something like that, with fucking Johnny Silverhand in it. It's so funny. And like, good. It's like the developers were like, okay, we're accepting refunds, and then people went to like PlayStation, they're like, we're not doing refunds. And then it's like, okay, well, if you're having trouble, email us. It's like, who's gonna freaking answer that email? Like, come on, like, be serious. And then eventually PlayStation was like, fine, yes, you can refund it. Doesn't matter how long you've been playing for, because normally I think it was like you played it for over 2 hours, you couldn't return it.
Yeah.
Right.
And then eventually PlayStation was just like, fuck it, we're pulling it from the store. You can't even buy it anymore. Which
Right.
I don't think they've ever done that ever, even for like the most broken games I've ever seen. But
Right. I'm trying to think of a game that even came close to being broken. I know that No Man's Sky was very underwhelming. A lot of people were very upset with that.
I know Fallout.
That was a big. Fallout 76, same thing.
Fallout 76, same thing. Right. That was very broken on release, and same thing. It got bad, but not this bad.
Not, like to the point where you can't even play it. Like, holy man, you guys. Unless you have like a supercomputer. But
yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like I bought it for PS5, and graphically it's fine. Like I don't have any of the problems that PS4 or Xbox One have. It was just like the constant crashing at the beginning. There was like every 2.5 hours it was just like, and back to the home menu. So it's like, God damn it. Because of course it's like, it's still a fun game, so it's like, okay, I'll just boot it up again. It won't take me too long. It auto saves generally enough so that it's like you don't have to go that far back. But it's just annoying that it was like, even I beat the game last week, and it ended up crashing. Like at like the very like almost final moments of the game, it ended up crashing, and I was like,
oh my god.
Like, oh, this is the best way to go. And I think Greg Miller from Kinda Funny, he posted that his game crashed during the end credits. Which is
wow,
like, awesome. Way to go, guys. You did it.
Did you end up going back and finishing it?
I did.
Watching it again?
Yeah. I think there's like 6 different endings you can get, or something like that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, like it'll be like, this is the point of no return, and then you have a bunch of different things the way you can tackle it. So I might go back and do that, but I think I'll probably wait and just wait for the DLC or their expansion, or I think they're supposed to be releasing an actual next-gen version, because it's still, I guess, the PS4 version running on PS5.
Okay, gotcha.
Which I think the PS5 version is supposed to come out in April, but who knows if that's still the case. And then they're supposed to be coming out with a multiplayer mode in the summertime.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
But still, it's like, who knows how far that's been pushed back, or,
fix the bugs. Right. We'll talk.
Exactly. And then, rounding out the year, you have Christmas, which we kind of discussed at the beginning there, like under restrictions, and it's very interesting. So I think before we wrap things up here, I just kind of wanted to get your guys' year-end awards, your favorite movie, your favorite TV show, and your favorite game of 2020. I can go first since I kind of prepared myself already. So favorite movie of the year was kind of hard, but also easy, because it was like, what movies came out this year? Yeah. I think I literally only saw 2 movies that came out this year. So my honorable mention is Soul, which came out on Christmas, which is fantastic. 100% recommend it. But yeah, my movie of the year is The Gentleman. Just hilarious movie. Like, I still think of that frickin' line of, you couldn't lift a wheel of fucking cheese, you cunt. Every week, it cracks me up. It's such a great line. Favorite show this year for me was The Last Dance, the documentary about Michael Jordan and the 1990 Bulls, or the Bulls era. That's like the best sports documentary of all time, I think. Even for non-basketball fans or non-sports fans, I say it's definitely a must-watch, just to like learn about this pop culture icon and his mentality, and like how he would like, he's such a person who wants to win as much as possible, that like he rubbed people the wrong way. He would also like get mad for like no reason at people just so he could play better against them. Like, there's a story of a guy who like, he's like, yeah, Michael Jordan had a bad game, and he said, "Good game, Mike," at the end, and then they played each other the next day, and he's like, "I'm gonna score as much points as he did in the game in the first half," and then like they interview that player, he's like, "I never said that to him." And then like cuts to Michael Jordan presentation. He's like, "Yeah, I made that up," or whatever. It's like, what the fuck, man? And then he had he had Dennis Rodman in Vegas, and how that crazy a thing it was. Honorable mentions though, I will say The Mandalorian was fantastic. The Boys was fantastic, and Demon Slayer was like my favorite anime I watched this year. Highly recommend that one.
Okay.
And then game of the year for me was Spider-Man Miles Morales. Just like it's not. I won't say it's as good. Well, I don't know. It's shorter than it was the PS4 Spider-Man, but it still like packs the same amount of quality into that package, which is kind of nice because like, you know, it was a $60 game. It's not even a full price game. It's shorter, but it's still really great. And I would love for games to kind of go into that more direction. Like not everything needs to be a AAA 30, 40-hour game. We could do like smaller 10-hour games that are still like really great, but they're shorter or something like that, and they don't cost as much, and they don't take as long to develop.
Exactly.
I love that. And then honorable mentions: Cyberpunk 2077 might have been my game of the year if it wasn't so glitchy and buggy and didn't crash as much.
Yeah.
And Ghost of Tsushima, which I just started playing this week, but I've been having a blast with it. That's awesome. But yeah, we'll go with Tyler there. What are your year-end awards there?
Well, for best movie, hands down, it's Doolittle. No, I'm just kidding. No. I was gonna say, Gentlemen.
That even came out this year,
right? Yeah, I need to move on to different projects and expand my acting career, so I'm gonna be Dr. Doolittle.
Yeah,
okay. Okay. You goof. No, I was gonna say Gentlemen because that movie was such a blast to watch, but I think honestly the best movie that came out this year was The Invisible Man. That movie was incredible. It was scary. It was smart. It was like there were surprises, and the whole time, like when you're done watching it, you can't stop talking about it after because there's a moment actually that happens in the movie that I've never seen anything like it before. That happened, like it's I'll just call it the dinner scene, I guess. And that part, I remember sitting there for about 5 minutes. I think we had to go back when I was watching it to see what had happened because I was just in shock for like 5 minutes, like at what had just happened because it happened so quick and nonchalant that I was just like, holy fuck, did this just happen? And it was amazing. It was like, yeah, I like movies that get an emotional response from me, and that one definitely did a lot. And Gentlemen did too, but it was just just like a well polished Guy Ritchie movie. It was totally Guy Ritchie, whatever. But it was still incredible. Both very good movies, but I'm a big horror fan, so I'm gonna say The Invisible Man was the best movie of 2020.
And I saw that. I just kind of passed it off. I didn't think it'd be that good of a movie. It looked somewhat okay, but
no, because it's the main writer and actually one of the lead actors of Saw, Lee Wannell. He helped write and direct some of the Insidious movies and The Conjuring. He works with James Wan a lot with like Saw, and like I said, he was the main actor because they couldn't afford another actor when they made that movie. So he did the other co-star part. So he just basically took a pay cut and just to help get the movie off the ground. And he this was his first like stab at, well, no pun intended, at writing and directing a movie all on his own, and it was incredible. It was awesome. A wicked twist on the Invisible Man story. It's very good.
I never would have guessed that. Wow.
Yeah, and then as for show, this is really tough for me because watching The Queen's Gambit and watching Mandalorian, I feel like and The Boys, and there was just so many good shows that came out this year.
Yeah.
Like as shitty as 2020 was, it was a fantastic year for fucking TV shows, man.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about shows, like continuous shows and not miniseries, and I'll say Mandalorian. But otherwise, I think I would have to go with Queen's Gambit. Honestly, I'll have to. I like Star Wars. I'm not a super diehard fan like Eric and you, Scott, but I loved Mandalorian. Like I had such a blast watching. The second season was phenomenal, and The Boys season 2 was so freaking good too. But I have to say, I think that chess show was the best one this year. It was so good. Who would have thought that a show about chess would be, the number one thing?
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna have to go with that one. And then as for game of the year, I haven't really played anything that really came out this year, except for I'm just double checking to make sure that this came out this year. Was I think it did. Hold on. No, it was last year. Damn it. I'm playing Blair Witch. Whatever. It's Blair Witch.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm playing that game, and it pays homage very well to the movies and the lore, and it kind of ties everything together. And it's like one of those games, like, I don't know if you guys have ever played, what's that game where you're a reporter? All you have is your camera. It's got night vision. You got to go into the asylum and figure out what happened. Oh, there's 2 games on it now. Why can't I think of the name of it? But it's like that.
Start with the D, doesn't it?
I believe so. Crap. I can't think of it. What's the name of it? You have night vision camera. Hold on. Pull that video up, would you? It's not coming up. It'll come to me as soon as this is done.
Right.
But basically, you're playing as somebody who has a lot of mental trauma from something that you don't know at all about what's happening, but you just know that there's something going on. And you have a cell phone where you can go through your messages, voicemails, texts, all this stuff. And you have your trusty little dog with you, who's basically like your guide in the woods, which is vast and thick and actually pretty well done. And like, if you pay attention to your dog, he'll be more useful to you. He won't run away as much, and he'll want to stick with you and stuff too. And if your dog ventures off too far, your guy will start having like panic attacks. Oh, wow. And he'll be like, so you got to call out to him, and then he comes back, and you don't know if like what's happening is real and what's not real. Like, it's such a well-made psychological horror game. And frick, man, like, it gets your blood pumping so fast. And the jump scares and the storytelling, everything, it's just such a mind fuck, and it's just so well crafted. I have to say that I haven't finished it yet, but this is the best game that I've played this year for sure. Wow. This one. And that's my top 4 things.
I think the game you were trying to think of was Outlast.
Outlast, that's the game. That one frickin' gave me fucking nightmares, that game. Yeah. A game where you can't fight back, and all you have is your wits and like your sneak. And when I play video games, I'm not very sneaky. I'm actually really crappy at sneaking. Yeah. So, like knowing that you have to be sneaky, because otherwise if they get you, you're done, right? Like, you're fucked. So basically you gotta run, you gotta hide, whatever. And this game is like that. It's the same thing. So you have to be smart about it. You can't just, run in and just try to go head first into it, because otherwise you're not going to get anywhere, right? But it's awesome. It's amazing. Outlast.
Yeah. Speaking of, before I get to Eric here, I just want to say, I remember playing, speaking of horror games, we played Phasmophobia.
Oh, God. Oh, yes.
Which I think, yeah, Eric, we suckered Eric to finally, convince him to finally play it. we both got scared. We're like, fuck it, we're done. I think Eric ended up returning the game or something like that.
Yeah, I did end up returning the game.
we played one game, it's like, oh, you want to play another one? He's like, nope, I already deleted it and returned it. What?
Yeah, I don't do horror games. It's just not my thing. Do chicken shit.
Oh man, yeah. All right, Eric. Let's hear your end of the words here.
Oh man, mine's been said. Unfortunately, for new this year, I guess it would be Gentlemen. The only really movie that came out. Didn't really discover a new movie at all. Realistically, everything I've kind of watched has been rewatching over and over, because this year wasn't much new. It was just really binge the same stuff over and over kind of thing there.
Very true.
So yeah, the only movie I really have is The Gentleman. I just watched it recently and really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good. It was one of those movies where I watched it twice, because first time I watched it with my parents, and mom and dad have to ask every question. Well, what's this? What's that? It's a movie that jumps too, right? So
yeah,
right.
You get clues as you watch it. So it's very distracting to watch it with them. So I watched it again, and it's just by myself, and I really enjoyed it even more than that afterwards. So yeah, that was a great movie. TV show, same. Mandalorian is definitely up on my list. I would say it's probably the best show of the year, for sure. The new season was really great, really well done. It brought a lot more fans into the Star Wars canon too, which I liked as well. Because
for sure.
I've always read Star Wars comics growing up, and I didn't have the movie, so I always read the comics. So there was always this bigger universe of Star Wars to watch, and then now people are realizing oh yeah, there's a whole other. That's not just the Skywalkers. You can watch everybody else in this whole universe. It's great, right? So
yeah,
I like that a lot with it. But one I wanted to add was the new season of Castlevania came out this year.
Oh yeah,
really enjoyed that.
Yeah,
that one was really good. That show is for one based off of a video game. It's like one of the best shows out there. I really love it right now. So
Yeah.
a new season came out and it was really good.
Yeah.
No,
Have
and
to
then-
finish that.
Yeah, that you would not expect it to be that good, but it's really good.
Oh yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. And then games, yeah, same thing. Nothing really new for games. I'm playing old stuff. One I fell in love with recently has been Mordau. I know you guys don't like it as much as I do, but I've just come to love the combat in that game, and I'm having a lot of fun with that. So, yeah,
See, I'm 50-50 with that one. Like, well, I know my girlfriend Carly. Holy man, I've never seen anyone have a meltdown before playing a game. Like, I was actually scared. I thought she was gonna throw something at me, but
no, it's just it's a little fun. Yeah, just fun combat. I find it's the counter and anti-counter and blocking, and yeah, I enjoy it. So that and this, I rediscovered Fallout 4 this year. Entirely got me into that one, and I sunk in so many hours into it, and I haven't even gotten to like half of the story yet. And
exactly. That's
you
where
play
we're back on.
Play it, I get distracted, and next thing you know, it's 1:30 in the morning, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck was I doing again? Working on my base for 3 hours. Crap. And yeah, that's kind of all I've been really doing this year. So playing the old stuff over and over.
You didn't really get into Cyberpunk that much at all?
I got it. I was playing it again, but same thing with that. I'll play it for a few hours, and I'll just play it and enjoy it. But I've probably only been a third through it, I'd say. So I'll find time to play it here down the road. I'm just not over. It's not really grabbing me like I thought it would. Just to sink hours and hours into it. It's still I find the missions a bit repetitive and tedious, and just But I do want to play some more and get back into it for sure, though. So
Interesting.
Finish it off. Yeah.
There we go. Well, I think that's gonna do it for our first episode ever. How did it feel, guys?
Near the end, I think we got a good little rhythm going there.
We hit our stride. I think this next episode's gonna be a little bit different because this year, I mean, we had a bunch of. It was a big topic of 2020, but it really was just like a list of things to talk about. Next episode we'll figure out like another big topic, and I think it'll flow a little bit better than this episode did. Probably not be as long either because we did over an hour and a half so far. Which a little bit long for our first episode, but who cares? If you stuck around, listened to all of it, really appreciate you. If you liked it enough, you can share it with your friends. That'd be greatly appreciated. And then we'll let you know when the next episode is out. I think we're hopefully maybe gonna do this weekly or every 2 weeks. I don't know. We haven't quite figured that out yet.
I'm down. Do it.
Sweet. Well, there you go. Till next time. We'll talk to you guys later.
See you guys later.
Thank you so much. See you later.